Well, good morning. Bonjour, Ani. My name is Matthew Sucrum. I'm the communications coordinator for MP Anthony Rota. Thank you so much for being here today. Merci beaucoup d'être ici aujourd'hui. We've got a great announcement coming for you today, and it's a pleasure to bring together all these representatives from the riding for this announcement. And we'll hear from 6 speakers today, and we will have questions at the end. If you do have a question, I'll ask you to type it in the chat box, and we will relay those to our presenters today. And I'll ask you to keep your microphones muted throughout the presentation as well. I will now hand things over to the Member of Parliament for Nipissing-Timiskaming, Anthony Rota, to get us started. Anthony?
Thank you very much, Matthew. Hello, bonjour, Rani. And thank you for joining us here this morning. I know this is only virtual, but hey, we're looking forward to returning to a more normal life at some point, and hopefully sooner rather than later. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank all the Canadians who've done their part to get vaccinated and to bring our vaccination rates so high and the COVID rates down. And we seem to be pulling out of this, and hopefully soon we'll be able to come together. And that's part of what we're going to talk about this morning. Because, like, you know, what we're doing right now, it's partly due to COVID-19 pandemic and some of the stuff that we've gone through up until now. Now, what we're looking at is, as we come together, we're going to need to come together in a good way and really make those moments worthwhile and make people look forward to it. And that's why these projects that are about to be announced today are so important to us and important to our future as well. Now, I'll just go over a few of them, and then I'll let the individuals talk to them a little bit more in depth. Now, the municipality of Temiskaming Shores, Powassan, Bonfield and Nipissing are all benefiting from this FedNor funding. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that we're now seeing why it's so important for FedNor to be a standalone agency within the government of Canada. We're going to truly see growth and investment in Northern Ontario, and that includes the projects that we're going to be talking about today. Now, overall, there's about $2.4 million being invested to help the growth of Northern Ontario mining supply, enhance service sectors, and build community infrastructure. First, it'll be $852,500 that'll be invested by FedNor to enable the city of Temiskaming Shores to showcase Northern Ontario mining businesses and organize on the world stage at 2 separate events in 2022. The first is the 8th annual Northern Ontario Mining Showcase, NOMS as we know it, pavilion at the 2022 Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada, or we know it as PDAC. And that's an international convention that will be taking place in June in Toronto. The second event, and I just want to say PDAC is one that I look forward to every year. And this one got shifted a bit. Normally it takes place in March, but it's going to be in June. Again, hoping that everything is over with COVID by the time that happens. The second event will be the Canadian Institute of Mining, Metallurgy and Petroleum annual convention. And once again, the city of Temiskaming Shores will have an in-person exhibit at this event taking place in Vancouver in May. And that's expanding the view of what is available to our mining companies right across the country and around the world. On the community infrastructure side, you know, I could go into detail, but I'll let the individuals tell you a little bit more about what the projects themselves involve. And I'll just give you a quick synopsis of the projects, and then I'll let the individuals tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Now, the city of Temiskaming Shores will receive $500,000 to revitalize the Don Shepherdson Memorial Arena. The municipality of Powassan will receive $499,000 to remain and revitalize, or sorry, to reimagine and revitalize the main community park area located in the downtown core. The township of Bonfield will receive $495,000 to support infrastructure upgrades at Temiskaming and Centennial Parks. And the township of Nipissing will receive $62,000 to purchase and install playground equipment at Heritage Park. Building up a community infrastructure is vital to long-term success, not only of Canada, but of all of Nipissing-Timiskaming as well. Support to our downtown cores, our community centers, and our parks and green spaces will help us on our road to economic recovery from the COVID pandemic. Now is the time to invest in the shared public spaces that will safely bring people together and help communities grow and thrive. And that growth will come well into the future. So I want to thank all of you for being here, and I'm really excited to see these projects finalized and attending events in person at these projects once they're done, because I mean, we're all fed up with COVID and we all want to get going. And this is one way of making sure that once we do get out of this, we can all come together and enjoy our communities. So once again, I want to thank everyone for being here. Merci, miigwech.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I'll now invite Carmen Kidd, the mayor for the city of Temiskaming Shores, to speak about their project.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll start out by thanking Anthony for all the work that you do for our people of our riding there, Anthony. Thank you very much for all the work you do. That's great. The city of Temiskaming Shores is very pleased to be able to use these funds to enable us to meet our accessibility goals for the Donald Chapter Memorial Arena. This will allow our seniors and our youth to be more active in our community and begin to socialize again after the past 2 years. And this arena hosts many social events throughout the year. It's really a gathering place for the residents across the surrounding area. And we're going to be installing double accessible entrance doors, fully accessible washrooms, rubberized flooring in the lobby. And this will basically breathe new life into this facility. It's very well used. And it's always been our concern that parents and the children with special needs could not participate in many activities in this arena. And this will allow those people to get in and be able to visualize what's going on there and actually participate. So that's great. And we're very fortunate to have FedNor and programs like the Canada Community Revitalization Fund to help stimulate the economy and to get people back to work. And so for that, I think I'll cut it off there. And thank you for everything you're doing for us there, Anthony.
Thanks so much. We'll now invite Peter McIsaac, the mayor for the municipality of Powassan, to speak about their project.
Unmute this thing. So again, thank you, Matt. And I'd like to thank Speaker Rota, my friend, Anthony. Recreation is a very important part of life in the municipality of Powassan. Our playground has proven to be more important as people look for ways to enjoy outdoor space during and activities during the COVID pandemic. These funds announced today will be the first step, or phase one, to create a more accessible and safe playground, park and parking area at the Sportsplex and pool playground area in downtown municipality of Powassan. As a whole, this project will address the parking overflow at the Sportsplex and the curling club with new parking area and covered accessible walkway, relocated park and playground space, upgrades to the ball field and the outdoor pool area. So many of these assets have been heavily enjoyed by our local families for years, and the need for the attention to ensure that we can utilize these well into and preserve them well into this green space, well into the future. So we really appreciate the good work that FedNor staff have done with our municipal staff in this application, and we want to thank the government for seeing our revitalization project. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I'll now invite Tom Piper, the mayor for the township of Nipissing, to speak about their project.
Thank you, Matthew. This past Family Day weekend, we had a great celebration at Heritage Park, bonfire, skating party, and fireworks. Not just showcase what we intend to do with our FedNor money. Family gathering area to come together again, playground equipment. This funding allows us to move forward with the project in a time when creating safe spaces is even more important than any other time. So at Nipissing Township, we'd like to thank Mr. Rota and FedNor for your generous donation to help fund our new playground equipment in Heritage Park. And we look forward to seeing you out here, not necessarily playing on the equipment, but when we open up for use for the public. So thank you again. And congratulations to all the mayors that were fortunate enough to get this funding. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Tom. And I'll now invite Randy McLaren, the mayor for the Township of Bonfield, to speak about their project.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. Long time no see to many of you. As mayor of the Township of Bonfield, I also want to express on behalf of our citizens our appreciation and our excitement related to our funding. The enhancements to our waterfront that it's going to provide will be enjoyed by all ages and create a pretty active location. Our waterfront has been a focal point for visitors to the community. And on many occasions when I meet new residents or someone who's visited, they remark on the park and the waterfront and how it's left an impression on them. So this funding is going to allow us to take that to a higher level of visual appeal, but it's also going to add a lot of safety and greater activity there. The docking and the boat launches will allow those that use Lake Nosbonsing better access. But I think a focal point that's coming is the splash pad that we're going to add there. And that's going to allow families in the summertime to use the waterfront in a much safer way without, small children having to access the deeper waters of the river and Lake Nosbonsing itself. So these improvements are also going to help the local economy because we expect to be able to use local contractors in the majority of the work. So the amenities and the safety improvements are greatly going to enhance the overall waterfront appeal. And I also sincerely want to thank MP Rota and FedNor for all their assistance in this regard. It's greatly appreciated.
Thanks so much, Randy. And I'll now invite James Franks, the Economic Development Officer for the City of Temiskaming Shores, to touch on the projects for PDAC and the other convention as well.
So certainly we'd want to start off by thanking Anthony and FedNor for once again supporting our Northern Ontario Mining Showcase event at PDAC. As Anthony mentioned, this is the 8th year. We've had over 100 exhibitors there for several years now, and they're looking forward to being back in person, making sales at this show. Over that 8 years, we've created over $100 million worth of new sales for businesses across Northern Ontario, and created hundreds of jobs across the whole North. So it's been a fantastic project to be involved with, and we're excited to be leading it once again. And then this year, as an add-on, we spoke to FedNor and asked if we could do a second pavilion at the CIM event in Vancouver, and we're hopeful that that's going to create even more sales opportunities to other parts of the world and certainly other parts of Canada for these businesses from Northern Ontario. So a really exciting project, and we're so happy to receive this funding. And I just want to end by saying it's so nice to, I'm dealing in business projects, but it's so nice to hear these community projects being announced at the same time, because the reality is, business is business and it needs money to survive and it needs to market and this and that. But people want to come to Northern Ontario, need great communities to live in, and no business is going to attract people if we don't have great community assets. So great to hear these great programs being announced today.
Great. Thanks so much, James. And now we'll move into our questions. If the media have any questions, we can certainly take some. Just feel free to type them in the chat box. And while we wait for any, we're going to snap a quick picture of our guests here. So everybody smile. 3, 2, 1. Great. Thank you. Okay. Not seeing any questions, so I will wrap up this event. Thank you so much for, oh, hang on. We do have a question. Anthony, if you want to take questions regarding anything else that's not related to this, can let me know.
Sure.
But Eric, certainly if you have something you'd like to put out there.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Anthony, we watched in horror last night and this morning of Russian troops getting closer and closer and invading into Ukraine. What do you say to Ukrainian Canadians, the Ukrainian community here in North Bay, and are sanctions enough to mitigate this crisis?
You know what I can say to the people who are of Ukrainian descent and have concerns, and rightfully so, they have concerns. What we've seen is a blatant disregard for international law, with Putin basically declaring war on Ukraine by invading the two provinces that border Russia and Crimea. Are the sanctions enough? I think it's a start. And once we get past this point to see if it does have an impact and it does work, then if it doesn't, we have to look at further steps to try to make threats. At this point, we're no better than the bully who's attacking Ukraine right now. So at this point, I think what we want to do is try to end it diplomatically, but not be afraid to escalate if we see fit.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Anthony. We've got a question from Darlene Rowe with the Temiskaming speaker for Mayor Carmen Kidd. What is the community portion for the arena project? I did send out a media release. It should be all in your inboxes, but Mayor Kidd, if you'd like to expand on that.
Yeah, this is basically going to be a $1 million project, putting in the accessible doors, putting in the new LED lighting, and sprucing up the lobby there. So that's a project. And we've been trying to, over the last 6-7 years, make all our municipal buildings accessible to anybody that's got disabilities there. We've started with Riverside Place. We started with the Pool Fitness Center. We're doing the Don Jefferson Memorial Arena this year. Hopefully in a couple of years' time, we'll get around doing the Nilisquid Community Hall as well. So that's sort of our aim, to make all our municipal buildings accessible. And that's going to be very important for the community.
Thank you. And then to either Mayor Kidd or James Franks from Blake McChristie with CJTT, how important is it to the city of Temiskaming Shores to be involved in those conferences?
I can go first, then James can follow up there. I mean, I've been involved since day one there for the last 8 years, and it's great to go down to Toronto there and be involved in that convention and meet the thousands and thousands of exhibitors down there and have that communication between our exhibitors in our display spaces, as well as have them visit all the other exhibitors in the area. And it's puts us on the map, really, as far as the Temiskaming Shores. And we're very excited to lead the whole exhibit down there for Northern Ontario. James?
Yeah, and I think, you know, it was, it came from this original idea came from our friends in the township of Elk Lake, township of James Elk Lake, Mayor Reeve Terry Fizette, and so they had this idea, and so we worked with them to bring it to fruition, and so Temiskaming sort of led this from the beginning, and that's why we're excited to be still involved with it, and glad that FedNor sees the value in continuing to partner, showing that Temiskaming has a lot to offer the mining supply and service sector. And one quick thing I'd like to add, in addition to Carmen's comments about the community arena portion, we also received last year a funding from the Enabling Accessibility funding of $100,000, also from the federal government. So thank you again. And so that 100,000 will be put towards a project. So I guess it's kind of a 60-40 split between the federal government and the municipality.
Go ahead.
One other thing, that these exhibitors are from all across Northern Ontario. They're just not from Northeastern Ontario. So we have people from Thunder Bay and all across the north that go down and join our exhibit there. So it's great for all of Northern Ontario.
And I was just going to say that and add to it that both Carmen and James are being modest here, because I mean, they are the spearhead. They're the ones who apply for the funding. But to get that funding, to apply for that, they have to have the trust of all the communities in Northern Ontario. And I just wanted to point that out. I'm very proud of Temiskaming Shores for being able to do that and to take that initiative and apply on everyone's behalf. So congratulations just for that, aside from the funding.
Thank you.
Great. So not seeing any more questions. So thank you to the media for attending today's event. We really appreciate the coverage, and thanks to all our dignitaries for taking the time to be here this morning. The media release has been sent out, but a recording of this presentation will also be sent out once it gets uploaded as well. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks.